Welcome to Blossom Banter, a behind-the-scenes look at the race, community, and traditions that make Cherry Blossom the runner's rite of spring. I'm Sharon.
I'm Los.
Today, we have a exciting, wonderful guest with us. Her name is Tessa Barrett, and Tessa is the current reigning champion of the Marine Corps Marathon here in DC, and is an Olympic time qualifier for LA 2028. Welcome, Tessa.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be here.
So excited to have you here. You're like the closest thing to a celebrity I've ever met, honestly.
I know,
so.
we're in the presence of greatness.
Honestly, yeah. Like trying to think about all the things that I want to ask you, all the things I want to talk about, and my brain is failing me just because I'm sitting next to the GOAT, you know what I mean?
I know. I feel like maybe just by being in the same space, some of this talent and awesome skill will kind of osmosis its way over to me, maybe.
Good energy. I'm spreading the good energy today.
Yeah, absolutely. But welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here on a kind of cold, rainy Saturday. So yeah, awesome. Just good energy to be here.
Nice. Did you get a run in today?
I did.
How far?
That's a great question. Well, the intent was 15.
Okay.
But when I went from my house in Arlington up to Rock Creek, and I may have gotten a little carried away thinking, I can just go an extra mile and a half, but that's not going to affect the distance.
Sure, yeah.
It did. And that 15 miles suddenly became an 18-mile run, which was not really the goal for today. But it was 18 miles and a very cold Cap Ice ride home, but it's fine.
Okay.
I think we've all fallen victim to runner math once or twice.
Once or twice. And in the moment, I knew the math wasn't mathing, but I was like, I'll be fine. Yeah. Just made for a very long morning.
I bet.
Yes.
In the rain.
In the rain. But you know what? There were so many people out there getting after it this morning. I was shocked at how many people were running in Rock Creek.
Oh.
Wow.
And we're drenched. We were all just drenched out there. I mean, but you know what? Hey, I'll take the rain over the snow. Snow's pretty, but we can function in the rain. So.
I'm with you 100%. I would so much rather rain and it not be so cold than snowy.
Bro, why are you lying? You want it to be hot and you...
Well, yeah, I just would, if given the choice between those two things. If the choices are extremely limited to only two.
Okay, fine.
Otherwise, I would rather be in like a desert for sure.
All right. No, not me. You know, I'm a cold weather runner. I prefer the cold weather.
I hear you.
Yeah, all my PRs are in like 40-degree temps. So,
it's the best.
Yeah,
it's the best. Yeah, I mean, living in DC, you get used to the heat in the summer, but it's like poor man's altitude, you know?
That's true.
That is a good way to look at it
Yes.
because every summer, as I'm slogging through the humidity and the heat of, deep summer, I think to myself, wow, I really suck at running. And then as soon as the temperature change, it feels so easy again. And I'm like, oh, actually, no, I'm not bad at this. It's just the heat.
There's real science behind that about heat acclimation and how, as athletes, if you train in the heat and then race or perform where it's colder, it really does benefit you. So there's... Yeah.
I very much geek out over that. In my group chat with the guys that I train with, I mean, we have a whole argument, hypothesis about, sauna training, and I'm getting really into that now. And so, there's a lot of really good evidence out there about how the heat training post workout, can actually increase hemoglobin stores.
Very cool.
And if you do it, I mean, it's a little aggressive, but if you do like 45 minutes in the sauna 3 days a week post workout, you can actually increase your hemoglobin as much as you could at altitude.
Wow.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love to get in the nerdy science of that kind of stuff and looking at the studies and everything.
It's really cool. My husband, Daniel, he fundraised to go to Berlin to run the marathon, and he fundraised for the Corey Stringer Institute, which does a lot of their whole mission is research on how heat affects athletes. Ooh. And so he got to go up and do like a heat study, and they do have all kinds of really interesting tests that they can run with you, and they test your sweat and all that good stuff. And it's very cool. Yeah, we learned a lot about how heat helps you perform.
That's
for sure.
super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Well, good segue into our first question, which is to ask you about kind of what your running journey has looked like and what your current routine is. running wise.
I mean, it's like, how much time do we have? So my running journey, was really not a very athletic kid. I mean, I was always active, riding bikes and things like that, but I didn't really do any sports until junior high school. Started playing field hockey, was convinced to try out for the track team, and just kind of gravitated toward running because my real skill in field hockey was I was just faster than everybody else. So like, maybe you should try running. Yeah. And then I tried running and I was like, oh, maybe I can be kind of good at this. But I tell everybody this, like, I did not start out of the gate just a really good run. I mean, there was some talent, but it was really hard work, right? Because the one thing with running is you get out of it what you put into it, right? So if you're working at it and you're consistent, you're maintaining consistency in your routine, you can get better. And I loved that about that. I loved seeing progress from something that I was like working really hard at. Because I'm 5'2.5", I'm like 100 pounds. I was never going to be a great basketball player. I was never going to be a great volleyball player. Sure. But running, I can work really hard, and I knew that would probably come to help me down the road. So I kind of started that way. I went to college on a scholarship at Penn State. Very grateful for the sport because it paid for school.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And, I moved to DC. It's going to be 7 years next month, which is insane. I can't believe it. It's like flown by. I moved to DC for work, like as most people do.
Right.
And kind of running was on the back burner because I work a pretty demanding job.
Okay.
But I fell into the Georgetown Running Club community. Ran with them. That was right before COVID. So then COVID obviously had just dramatic, impact.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I also think that really led to like this running renaissance.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I was running with GRC, and then COVID, we weren't doing anything. And I had a friend that invited me to, she's like, oh, you should really come out this new track club. It's called the Northeast Track Club.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah.
It was because it was COVID. So nobody was socializing.
Nope. Yeah.
At the time I was living at home with, I was living with family, and, I had no friends because all my friends had left DC because everybody had gotten laid off. So it was a very weird time.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I just loved the community aspect of it. I thought, what a great thing that we can all just gather here on a Saturday for a run.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, everybody just hangs out and gets coffee. I'm like, this is so great. It's not competitive running where it's super aggressive and super intense, and everybody's just out here to have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that really kind of just shifted my mindset towards the sport. And just, I started really enjoying running a lot more. And I think with that enjoyment of running, I was able to just kind of get back into the passion and really like the why. Why did I ever really start running?
Yeah.
It's because I really enjoyed the sport, and I love I just love getting after it. And I love everything from a speed workout to an easy day to a hard long run. So, but the DC community is so awesome in terms of like running, clubs and the, different types of runners, and they're very inclusive, right? Like I would not say there's any, unless it's maybe more of like an elite club, most of the clubs here are super inclusive.
Yes.
But at the same time, I would say there's a lot of protection. Like, I think whenever you go into a running club, you don't know, our personality's going to match because you'd be, potentially in an unsafe situation. But I've always felt like the leadership in the run clubs has done a really good job of maintaining a very like good community.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And first off, I didn't know you had been a part of Northeast Track Club, because that is my home club now.
Oh, nice. Okay,
yeah. So it's very cool to hear that that's like,
I was way early. Like I would know, and it's, I don't live in DC. So otherwise I would have totally continued with it because I love the NETC people, but I am an Arlington queen. So, and I do not, and I work out in Reston. So really, it was not.
I think Arlington would be real mad if we tried to pull her back into the city, and
they probably would.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try.
What is your favorite? You mentioned a couple different kinds of workouts. What is your favorite type of run to do?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. It really depends on the day. I love tearing up a track. I love doing a really good track workout.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just like blazing with, I hate doing it by myself. I got to be with some of the guys or somebody. Somebody's got to be either behind me or in front of me, and we got to be, moving. I love K repeats, love mile repeats.
Okay.
And I love
that is intense.
That's intense.
I love it though. I love the grind. You know, I just love that grind. Or I love a ladder where we kind of go up and go back down.
Sure.
And then I love a good long run. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just you just kind of like just get into your mindset and
Nice little LSD run. Yeah.
Yeah. LSD, love it. Love it.
Yeah. No, I love a good long run because I can just check out. It's like those I don't mind doing by myself. I'll go out there and I'll just zone out for a couple hours and just be in my own thoughts or playing a little soundtrack in my head.
Are you a headphones runner?
No, I'm not. Do you?
You know what? I am.
Really?
I never was.
Yeah.
And then most of my training the past couple of years has been solo.
Yeah.
But I've been really trying to work out more with people just because I train much faster when I work with folks. But I am a headphone person.
Okay. Do you do like buds all the way in, or are you wearing the ones that are like
I'm bad. I do the bud. I'm bad. I'm really, and they are just the janky Amazon. They are not fancy. The AirPods stay at home. I
can't risk losing.
Can't risk losing an AirPod.
No.
So yes, but I'm also very nerdy, and usually I'll listen to like the Wall Street Journal or something.
Okay.
Or a podcast.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
I have stopped running with headphones, but when I did, I was a podcast or audiobook.
It's the best
because just tell me a story while I trot. Yeah, just like bop along.
Yeah. Okay, that might be. Maybe I should start doing that on my long runs because my goal this year, one of my resolutions, is to read more books. And what I've been told is audiobooks count. So
they totally count.
They absolutely count for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I will maybe look into that.
There you go.
For sure.
Yeah, at least one earbud, right? Yeah, for safety.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you definitely need to be. Yeah, I won't do it if I'm going to be on a road or anything like that. But even on the trails, you got to be a little cautious.
Sure. Yeah. No. Are you a big trail runner? Do you like trail running?
No.
Okay, good. Me neither.
I have the weakest ankles, and I'm just paranoid. Like the one time I hit a trail, I wiped out. Like my ankle was shot. I'm like, nope. Not for me.
Yeah.
I think there's consensus on that
100%.
in this room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope.
I tried to be a trail runner. My brother and my dad are huge trail runners. I tried and I hated it. Yeah. Couldn't do it.
Nope. Trail runners, like they make it look so cool.
They do.
But I'm entirely too clumsy. I will trip and fall over my own 2 feet just standing still. So I don't need to add the element of roots and little animal holes and stuff. Plus it's too scary.
I tell people all the time, when you run on a trail, you have to play the game of, is that a stick or is it a snake? And I don't like that game.
No, it's not a good game. That's not a good game.
Want to play.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Nope. Not for me.
Team no snakes.
Team no snakes. 100%. Yeah. All right. Well, let's transition into your most recent successes, starting with Marine Corps Marathon. So you won in 24, and so you were defending your title in 25. So what was it like to do that in your own backyard?
Yeah, I think, 2024, I did Marine Corps because I'd been inspired the year before that. I did the 10K and because I was training for the Philadelphia Marathon. And I was like, wow, the energy is just so great. And this is quite literally in my backyard. I'd have to do it next year. And 2024 was just, I'd had kind of rough experiences with the marathon so far. My first marathon was in 2022, Chicago. And that was a great first marathon. And then I really struggled after that. Like I just couldn't get my rhythm right. I ran Boston, went horrible, like just not a great situation with the marathons, to the point where I almost thought I'd never do another marathon again.
Wow.
Was pretty set that this is just not for me, It's just not for me. I'm stopping, for 10 minutes mid-race with
oh no.
Stomach issues, this, that. It's just, this isn't for me, right?
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, I'll give Marine Corps a try. We'll just see how it goes. So 2024, comes, and it was a great race, perfect day. Weather was immaculate.
Yeah.
I knew the streets, knew the course, and the energy in the city's so great. There's no cooler feeling or more really a special feeling than like running through where the streets that I run every day and having these people that I know like along the course.
Yeah.
I mean, it brings tears to my eyes like thinking about it. It's just such a great feeling because you don't have that anywhere else, right?
Right.
You don't have people like screaming your name or whatever. Like, it's just a really cool experience. I mean, like, even regardless of whether you're winning or you're like mid-pack or whatever, it's just so cool to be out there seeing your friends and family out on the
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I just love that feeling. And then for 2025, I knew I wanted to do a fall marathon, and I'd actually signed up for CIM in California because I got a free entry.
Nice.
And I was like, well, I'll sign up for it, but I really didn't want to run all the way through December. Like, I just didn't. And Marine Corps reached out to me like, hey, we'd love to have you run again. Like, also, give you a comp entry. It's like, you know what? Why not? Let's do that. Let's make that the main one. And let's try and hit the standard there. Just because it's convenient. All of my friends were either running Berlin or Chicago, so we were on similar training schedules. So that's just what I did. And, training was just perfect. I had a really good build. Not a perfect run. I mean, I had kind of every obstacle thrown from Sunday at me, which is sort of, I think, the things people don't see.
Okay. Yeah.
I had like a really bad bout of COVID that became bronchitis.
Oh, wow.
That became pneumonia.
Dang.
In August. In the summer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I blame Beyonce. Because I got it at the Beyonce concert.
Oh, no.
Yes.
It was the hive, not her.
Yeah, it was the hive. It was the hive, not her.
We're sorry, Beyonce.
So sorry. Sorry, babe. It was still super fun. But it was really bad. Like, I was down bad for at least 6 weeks. I would still run, which was probably the biggest mistake. I finally ended up having to take a week off, and that kind of threw training for a loop. And then I got back on the horse and things were going great. Workouts were going great. And then I had a very freak accident.
Oof.
I was on my double and it was about 3 weeks out from Marine Corps, which at that time we also didn't know if Marine Corps was going to be run.
Yes.
Oh, right.
That's very stressful.
That's true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I knew I had California International Marathon in the back pocket. So I wasn't panicked, but I was a little frustrated. And I'm finishing up my double and I get stung by a wasp.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just on my hand, wrist or arm, I guess. It was like right on my arm. I didn't think anything of it, right? Okay, I get home, like wash it out. Actually, wasn't even in DC. I was out of my mom's house about an hour away.
Okay.
And, wash it out. Don't really think anything of it. Drive home, go to bed. Middle of the night, I wake up and it's like really itchy. So I'm like scratching. Long story short, fast forward 24 hours. I'm in the ER with a massive infection. And my arm is covered from here to here in lesions.
Oh my goodness.
Because not only am I apparently massively allergic, but also there was some type of a infection pathogen. They still couldn't figure out what it was. So I was also in the hospital for 3 days.
3 days.
That's insane.
Wow. Yeah. That's so scary.
It was very scary and very freak. Just like they said, just a totally freak accident.
Yeah.
You don't think you're going to get stung by a wasp, like, right?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Double on a random Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day it was. I think actually it was Thursday. But yeah, so I think that's the things that people don't kind of see. They're just like, oh, like training's going perfect. It was not perfect. It was rough. Like, it was kind of touch and go there. Like, my family was very upset. It was concerning, but made it through.
Good.
And then, kind of like, I think probably the forced rest was good for me because I was, training a ton, working a ton, and it just, I mean, at that point, you can't really do anything because you're just sick in the hospital.
Right.
On IV antibiotics, but made it through that. So getting to the start line was just a miracle within itself at that point. I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm ready to rip. Race goes super well. Like, couldn't have been more like on point. And I was, really, really happy with the performance. Hit the OTQ standard, was super hype about it. Obviously, like in my hometown, like this is the like stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah.
What an incredible feeling.
Yeah. It was the best feeling in the world.
For about how long? About how long did that feeling last?
I'm like feeling great about myself.
After the tape or
I'm like feeling so great. It's Sunday, right? I get to work Monday. I mean, I'm on like emails, like my CEOs are emailing me. I'm on this like, email thread from like my boss to all of their bosses. I'm getting emails from so many people. It's just such a cool feeling. And then later that afternoon.
Oh no! So you got.
I get a very, pretty direct email from the USA Track and Field. Like, hey, a little birdie told us that you ran a 2:34, but that time does not qualify you because MCM has not been a sanctioned race since 2023.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that long. Wow.
I don't know how any of that works, and I do not point fingers because I think those are always like, communication and whatever. So no harm, no foul.
Right.
But yeah, that was a punch in the gut for sure.
Dang.
That is an incredible time. And Marine Corps is not an easy course to run an incredible time like that. So.
It's not. It's tough. Yeah. It's not an easy course. And so, at that point I was like, well, what do I do? I mean, I'm already like chilling on the couch. Like, my legs are still killing me from those, a damn hill at the end. I'm like, the last thing on earth I want to do is run another marathon,
Yeah.
So I had my little pity party and, bawled my eyes out, ate a bunch of chocolate as one does.
Yeah.
You need to just have a moment.
Oh, for sure.
And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to buck up and run CIM because I'm already signed up for it. I do not love to travel. Like, I'm not a great travel marathoner race person.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, I really didn't, especially December, work, busy time of year. But it's like, all right, we're just gonna make this happen. We're just gonna put our big girl shoes on and make it work. So that's kind of just what I did. I just, don't tell me no. Like, whenever someone tells me no, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that.
Well, yeah. Then you turned it around. You went to CIM, right? So you already had the entry.
Yep.
And then you went and requalified.
Yeah.
Which is like just 2 months later, right? Is that?
No, it was 5 weeks.
5 weeks later.
Unbelievable.
Went and turned around another OTQ, which is insane.
Yeah. I think it's just, with anything else, I think it was one of those things where it made me realize, like, you really can set your mind to whatever, you want it to. I mean, obviously you got to take care of your body and physically and everything like that. But, people are like, oh, you can't run 2 marathons in a year. You can't do this. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you just stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish. Right. And that doesn't matter if it's just running related or, in your personal life or your relationships or your work, whatever it is. Right. Like, if you can just focus on something, you say, nope, I'm going to make this happen. Regardless of the, outcome, I'm going to give it my all and try my best and, forget the rest.
That's an incredible mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really goes to like the power of the mind over the body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's so much of running too, is getting your mind right.
It is.
Is there, kind of what is your way of making sure when you approach a race or even just a run that you think is going to be challenging, how do you kind of get in the right mindset?
I think, in the past, I'd say year and a half, I realized with my earlier marathons that I really did poorly in. Looking back on training, I had good workouts and it just, in practice, I wasn't mentally dialed in, right?
Yeah.
And for like a number of different reasons. I think just, in general, life can get challenging and you got other things going on, work and personal friendships and relationships. It's just, you get just, burned out, right?
Yeah.
So I learned, like, with my sport, I really just need to stay in a good headspace. And by staying in a good headspace, at least for me, and even going into like a workout, it's kind of trying to get into like a Zen-like focus, right? I just try to, it sounds bad, but I just try to like block out all the outside noise. Maybe I'm listening to music, maybe I'm not, but I just, in those moments where it gets really hard, I just try to like find my inner peace.
Okay.
Right. So I just try to really, really focus on like my core and just my, not even like actual physical core, but I just try to center myself.
Yeah.
And just try to focus on that, focus on my breathing and just trying to find kind of like my inner peace. And that's for me made a huge difference in just how I approach harder workouts or races because, at the end of the day, I mean, it can be really hard when you're struggling and your breathing's not great and your legs are sore and you got miles to go. Like, don't take it one step at a time, right? I've really learned that you just have to take it one step at a time, one stride at a time, literally.
No, absolutely. I used to tell people that there are days that I don't want to get out the door.
Yep.
And oftentimes it takes everything to get out there, but even in that first mile, you're like, why am I out here? But don't listen to that first mile. The first mile is a lie.
Yes, the first mile is a lie. The second one,
it starts to get better after that first mile. Those endorphins kick in. So.
Absolutely.
I always tell myself I've never regretted going for a workout. I've never, at the end of it, felt like,
damn,
I wish I didn't do that.
Exactly.
You always feel better afterwards.
You always feel better after. Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And caveat that with, listen to your body. If you're injured, don't push through an injury. But
absolutely.
Yeah. Everything else.
If the only thing holding you back is like, I'd rather stay in bed, then
yeah. Which, I mean, sometimes you got to listen to your body too.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a recovery day, a true full rest day.
Yep. Yep. I'm not opposed to that. I'm like, you gotta definitely recover. I mean, I'm guilty of that at times, but I've tried to get better. But yeah, if you don't feel like running, rest. You know, some rest is not going to kill you. But agreed. Once you get your workout done, no better feeling.
Exactly. Yeah, that was me this morning. I could have slept another like 2 or 3 hours, and then I was like, you know what? I got to get out there. I got to get these miles done. Long day today. And I was very happy to get them done after. Got some 9 miles in, so it was nice.
Awesome. There we go. There we go.
Was no 18, but
you didn't make the wrong turn in Rock Creek. When I knew specifically, like, this is a bad idea, but I was at marathon pace. I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just get a bike on the way back. Yeah. And let me tell you, biking in the rain was not fun. That was very, and when I was already soaking wet like a dog, I'm like, this is really not a pleasant feeling.
Yeah. I'm sure many, many people can relate to the, oh no, I have to bike home. I had some knee trouble in my training cycle this fall, and it was chilly out and I was already sweaty, but I had to bail like 6 miles in and to bike those 6 miles back home when I was like sweaty and it's like cold and windy. I was like, man.
Yep. Nothing worse.
And then, you're telling yourself pushing it's a bad idea, but dang, I'd rather have just run home because at least I wouldn't be freezing.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Man. Your hands are cold.
Yes.
Like the wrists are cold.
Yeah.
Inside you can't even open your door.
Yes, your fingers are kind of stiff.
Oh, God. No.
Oh, man. Well, let me transition really quick. Mm-hmm. So obviously we've heard about your elite marathon adventures and how amazing that is. As a marathoner, how does it feel to run 10-mile races? Because we are the Cherry Blossom podcast,
sure,
so
of course,
10-mile race. How do you feel about running a shorter distance, like a 10-miler?
Yeah, I love a 10-mile race. And Cherry Blossom is like such an awesome race. Great course, obviously beautiful views for people that aren't from DC. I mean, we're so spoiled, we're used to it. But great course, great views. The 10-mile race, I think, for me, it's like marathons. I mean, this is just my personal preference. I love marathons in the fall. Mm-hmm. I love the spring for the shorter stuff, the quicker stuff, because it just works a totally different, neuromuscular system. Yeah. And it gets you kind of firing in a different way. And I think it's just also a challenge, but in a different way, right? Because you're pushing the pace. Obviously, paces are very different. And you're, going for a shorter period, but it's also a different kind of mental test because it's not as long as a marathon, and it also is requiring a different type of like mental energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to, back when I was younger and faster, and could qualify for Boston. The Cherry Blossom 10 mile was my like tune-up for Boston because they were a couple weeks apart. So
absolutely, great tune-up. Oh my gosh, great course and flat, fast. Yes,
I love how flat and fast this course is.
Oh, it's the best.
Incredible. The last half mile, that little hill bumped right at the end.
Not ideal.
that can get tough, but you go ahead.
Yeah, but I think like it's a little bit. Oh man, it feels like a bigger hill than it actually is when you're at that point in the race. But my big but for that is the energy up that hill is unmatched.
Correct.
All the run clubs that way, and then you've got all those flags from all the different countries of participants, and just people, like 8 people deep on either side of you. I like feeling that, people cheering for you, just like you said. There's people who know you and they're clapping. It gets you up that hill and really propels you.
It does.
In my opinion.
But for sure does. Absolutely. Yeah.
When you can just like give your mind over to everybody else who's,
and it's not
who's
the
out
same
there.
hill like Marine Corps, so like that was a lot worse. Iwo Jima Hill is a lot worse.
Oh yeah, no, the Iwo Jima is
brutal.
I understand it's the Marine Corps Marathon and they're Marines and everything they do is like tough and they're the badass military. But they don't have to take that out on us. Like,
well, not the civilians.
Right, yeah.
The first race I ever did that was longer than a 5K was the Marine Corps 10K.
Oh, yeah.
And I was feeling so good and proud of myself for getting to that like 6th mile. I was, had never been a runner before.
Okay.
And this was kind of my first time training up for a bigger race. And I remember being so excited when I got to that turn where they're all lined up on either side and they're high-fiving you and they're, cheering you on. And I'm like, yeah, I'm high-fiving everyone. I'm feeling like such a like badass. And then I turn and see this hill.
Yeah.
And I just like was so unprepared. And then I was like, well, I can't embarrass myself. I just high-fived all of these Marines and I'm, gassing myself up. And so like, I can't let them see me just start walking. So I guess we're sprinting up this hill.
Yeah.
No other choice.
Yeah. No, it's, you're right. I mean, the Marines being there, they're definitely like encouraging to get you up the hill, but I still, I would prefer to finish on a downhill, like.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yes.
It's
Downhill, little sprinty speed to the finish.
Exactly.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So CUCB, Cherry Blossom 10 Miler, is the US ATF 10 Mile Championships. This is the 4th year in a row that Cherry Blossom is the 10 Mile Championships. Any elite runners that you'd like to see line up at the start this year?
Oh gosh. Last year I know that Taylor Rowe just absolutely crushed it and broke the course record.
Yeah.
And that whole group down there just seems to be on fire right now. That whole Puma elite, I'm blanking on their name, but they're down in North Carolina and they are just, those girls are just crushing it. And it is always a little humbling to me, especially, like I'm going to be 30 next month and there's like babies, they're like 22, 23.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're just crushing it. They're just doing super well. And I love to see it because I think, it's part of the sport, right? You want to see records being broken. You want to see
absolutely
that next generation getting faster and getting better, right?
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast earlier this morning when I was working out at the gym. And they were talking about, goals for, what professional, they were coming up with like different, I think this is going to happen, with the professional world. And they, I really think that the 4-minute mile will be broken by a woman this year.
That's amazing.
And, when you see something like that, having like these younger, fast kids, it's really cool to see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not breaking like 50 minutes in a 10 mile, but I'd love to have other competitors like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not super fluent on the international stage competitors. I don't really know all their names, but I think the more competitors, the best.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing, so many younger women just really excelling in the sport. I think it's just awesome to see.
No, it's amazing to see that the next generation is just so incredible. Like I'll be scrolling through Instagram and seeing like 10-year-olds who are out there just breaking national records for their age group. And it's incredible. And, if those kids will grow up to be the sub 4 milers someday, probably.
Yeah.
So incredible.
It's so incredible. And I think I do think it's the evolution of the sport. Like we just know so much more, right? Sport science. We talk about, heat acclimation and altitude and all that kind of stuff. Like we just learned so much. And that just, humans are designed to just continue to get faster and faster. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah. Runners by nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, sort of in line with, we have a little gift before we sign off. We want to share. We just, for our listening folks, we've got a little card here for Tessa.
Oh, so fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to run with you guys.
So do you want to share what our little card
You're in. We can't wait to run with you Cherry Blossom Weekend. So I will be running with you guys.
Yeah.
Yay! All right. So excited. Yay. So excited.
Yes.
Oh, yay.
So we are so thrilled that you came and chatted with us and told us all about your awesome running feats. And we're really excited to share the course with you in April.
So excited to be there.
Yeah.
So
thank you. And is there any way people can track your story, social media or anything like that?
I mean, go ahead, follow me. Instagram, it's just at Tessa Barrett _. And my Strava is private, but as long as you seem like normal and not a creeper, I'll probably accept you.
I'm going to do that because I definitely want to see all these insane workouts, especially those mile repeats on the track, because
I know.
That's going to be inspirational for me.
For sure, because that is what I find the absolute hardest. Also, it is always my mission to be on people's top kudosing for the year. I love making other people's Strava Wrapped for like giving them as many kudos as possible. So if you want some orange thumbs up,
I love.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then for everybody at home who is listening, thank you for listening to this episode. And please like and subscribe on all the podcast platforms because that's where we're at. And also on YouTube, like and subscribe there as well. It really helps us. So thank you so much. And we will see you on the next episode.
Catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.